Wealth is not a reward. It is a weapon, a lever that bends the world to the hand that wields it. To think otherwise is to misunderstand the currents of influence that shape every city, every court, every office where decisions are made. Money is not virtue, nor is it innocence. It is power distilled into a tangible form. Those who possess it, who understand it, move unseen through the corridors of control, while the rest obey, plead, or envy. To be wealthy without mastery is to hold a sword without knowing how to strike. The blade will turn on you, and you will bleed quietly while others sharpen their edge. Do not be misled by the pretense of fairness. The world bows to those who can command resources, manipulate opportunity, and create dependency. Fear, loyalty, and trust are currencies that exist only within the framework of influence that wealth secures. He who can pay, he who can withhold, he who can destroy or redeem, he dictates the terms. The illusions of friendship and honor are fragile shields, shattered by the one who knows how to strike strategically. Understand this. Money is not merely spent, it is deployed. Investments are armies, contracts are alliances, debts are chains, and favors are bridges. Every coin carries intention, every transaction an unspoken hierarchy. To wield wealth effectively is to anticipate the movements of others as a general predicts the tide of battle. You must calculate risk, gauge ambition, and recognize weakness as a predator recognizes scent. Delay, hesitation, or sentiment will cost more than gold. It will cost position, opportunity, survival. Beware those who preach detachment from riches. Those who claim to disdain power are often hiding their inability to acquire it. To eschew wealth is to place yourself naked before the storms of ambition, at the mercy of the prudent and the ruthless. Observe the world. The most revered are rarely those who are morally pure, but those who have learned to harness resources with precision, discretion, and unrelenting focus. Every kingdom, corporation, and state is ruled not by virtue, but by the careful orchestration of means, by the discipline to strike where others cannot respond. Do not confuse generosity with weakness. To give indiscriminately is to arm your competitors and weaken your hand. To lend without strategy is to sew your own chains. Wealth must be a tool for shaping reality, bending outcomes, and influencing behavior. The hand that controls capital controls the narrative. You decide who thrives, who falters, who remembers, who forgets. This is the theater of power. Appearances matter because perception is the currency of consent. Yet those who act solely for perception alone are exposed, predictable, and vulnerable. Ambition without resources is a dream. Power without control is a story told by someone else. Those who dominate do so quietly, calculatingly, in ways the untrained eye cannot perceive. They maneuver through influence, anticipating envy, predicting betrayal, and exploiting opportunity with surgical precision. Wealth allows patience, patience allows foresight, and foresight ensures survival. Every decision is a move on a board where pawns are expendable, and kings are the ultimate target. Remember this, the world respects strength because it cannot help but do so, and strength is measured in consequence, in the ability to act without being acted upon. Wealth sharpens consequence into immediacy. It commands obedience without words, loyalty without love, and fear without malice. Those who ignore it, who fail to understand its mechanics, will be crushed by those who do. Your mind must become a laboratory of strategy, where every asset is assessed, every liability converted into advantage, and every alliance weighed against betrayal. To fail in this calculus is to surrender not just opportunity, but existence itself within the theater of ambition. Wealth is a weapon. The question is not whether it should be wielded, but whether you will wield it before another strikes you down. Master it, command it, let it shape the battlefield as invisibly and inexorably as the tide carves cliffs. Those who do will bend the world, those who do not will be bent, broken, and forgotten. This is the unspoken law of power, the anatomy of survival, and the only truth you need to know if you wish to endure where others fall. Wealth is a weapon, learn to use it, or be crushed by those who already have. Those who wield wealth must understand that its true potency lies not in display, but in concealment. The world mistakes ostentation for influence, and many perish, showing the strength they cannot back with strategy. Subtlety is the edge of the wise. Silence is the shield of the prudent. Let your resources circulate unseen. Let alliances shift without announcement, and let your power be felt only when it is too late for opposition. To act openly is to invite calculation. To act with discretion is to write history, while others remain spectators. Fear is a companion more reliable than trust, for loyalty is often conditional, fleeting, and fickle. Wealth can create dependency, but dependency alone does not secure obedience. You must intertwine the two with foresight. Reward when obedience aligns with your objectives, retract when ambition threatens. The dance of fear and favor is the rhythm of governance, the unseen machinery of control. Those who fail to master it are governed by their own illusions, their fortune turning like a weather vane in the wind of others' ambition. The art of deception is not moral failure, it is political survival. Wealth provides the means to create realities others cannot challenge, to engineer perception so that your influence is unquestioned. But deception must be precise, measured, and purposeful. A misstep reveals the hand behind the curtain. A misjudged act sows the seeds of revolt. Every decision, every transaction, every calculated risk is an echo in the corridors of power, reverberating long after the initial act. The prudent leader recognizes that victory often comes from the patient orchestration of invisible forces rather than the noise of public triumph. Isolation is your advantage. Those who depend on consensus are weak, for ambition never sleeps, and loyalty is a currency that fluctuates with every gust of fortune. Wealth allows independence, the freedom to act with clarity, unburdened by obligation. Those who cannot stand alone are manipulated by those who can, their lives guided not by intellect, but by the needs and fears of others. To survive, to dominate, one must cultivate solitude as a forge, tempering decisions in the silence where truth is unmasked and strategy is conceived. Ambition itself is a force indifferent to morality. It obeys no law but consequence. You must harness it within yourself while channeling it in others. A man who envies cannot lead. A man who fears cannot strike decisively. Let your wealth create the scaffolding upon which ambition may rise, for without such leverage, desire is impotent. Build structures of influence, craft networks of obligation, and position yourself where the currents of opportunity converge unseen. Those who follow will never notice the hand that guides the course, yet every victory will bear your imprint. Time is the ally of the prepared and the executioner of the unready. Wealth grants patience the ability to wait until rivals expose their weaknesses, until alliances fracture under strain, until opportunity presents itself in unguarded form. Impatience is the downfall of the unlearned, the catalyst of ruin. To control wealth is to control tempo. To control tempo is to command events before they command you. Every act must be deliberate, every gesture calculated, for in the theater of power, even inaction can serve as strategy when measured against the folly of haste. The observant leader knows that alliances are temporary and loyalty is transactional. Do not trust the mask of friendship. Every handshake carries a weight of calculation. Those who swear fidelity today will betray tomorrow if opportunity offers greater gain. Wealth allows you to anticipate such shifts, to position resources where they may influence outcomes without exposing your own hand. Reward when useful, withdraw when dangerous, and never allow sentiment to compromise the architecture of advantage. Information is the currency that underpins every other. Money without intelligence is blunt. Intelligence without resources is impotent. Wealth enables surveillance of ambition, assessment of desire, and the mapping of fear. Observe quietly, measure carefully, and strike only when certainty favors you. The unprepared are enslaved by rumor, misdirection, and the ambitions of those who calculate with rigor. Your power lies in the intersection of knowledge and means. The one who masters both becomes invisible and unstoppable. Reputation, like coin, is minted through perception. Wealth allows you to shape it, to craft a presence that commands respect without exposure. Let others speak of your generosity, your decisiveness, your subtlety, but let them never see the calculations beneath the gesture. Appearances are the theater of authority. The stage must be flawless while the machinery behind it remains hidden. The careless reveal the mechanism, and once seen, the illusion is destroyed, leaving only vulnerability. Betrayal is inevitable. Plan for it as the sun rises. No measure of friendship, no oath of loyalty, no chain of gratitude can eliminate ambition's appetite. Use wealth to create networks that bind others' desires to your own, to shape incentives so that betrayal becomes costly, yet always maintain the freedom to act without reliance. The wise anticipate, the prudent hedge, the powerful exploit, and the fool is consumed by surprise. Control begins with self-command. A leader who cannot govern his own fears, impulses, and desires is at the mercy of circumstance. Wealth magnifies weaknesses. Indulgence becomes exposure. Hesitation invites conquest. Discipline is your armor, foresight your sword, and detachment your shield. By mastering your inner realm, you render external forces calculable, predictable, and therefore manageable. Those who possess power understand that patience is not inactivity. It is the deliberate shaping of events, the quiet adjustment of pieces until the moment is ripe. Wealth grants leverage, not answers. Insight provides the direction. Every move must serve the strategy, every expenditure secure influence, and every risk calculated against the potential for gain and the cost of failure. The world punishes the careless. It elevates the prepared. Fortune favors those who do not rely on chance but manipulate it. Money is the tool through which uncertainty is mitigated, opportunity engineered, and advantage preserved. Do not be deceived by proclamations of fate. It is a pliant servant to those who understand leverage. Those who ignore the mechanics of wealth become actors in a play directed by others, their gestures meaningless, their intentions exploited, their survival uncertain. The true exercise of power lies not in accumulation, but in deployment. Wealth is a river. Stagnant, it breeds weakness. Flowing, it shapes valleys, erodes obstacles, and nourishes influence. Those who hoard without direction are soon overwhelmed by tides they cannot control. Invest strategically, lend selectively, withdraw decisively. Let every transaction serve the larger design of authority. Resources unused are potential squandered. Resources misapplied are invitations to ruin. Observe those around you. Ambition wears many masks, and envy walks beside every ally. Wealth allows you to engineer situations where desire aligns with your design, where self-interest becomes a tool in your hands. Bribe the conscience subtly, create dependency without notice, and guide loyalty as the river guides water to the sea. The clever manipulate incentives, the strong endure the currents, the unprepared are swept aside. Do not mistake quantity for quality. A vast fortune is meaningless if it cannot be mobilized with precision. True mastery lies in knowing when to act, whom to engage, and how to exploit the vulnerabilities hidden beneath appearances. Wealth is leverage over time, over human will, over the contingencies of circumstance. The prudent leader calculates each expenditure, each favor, each commitment, anticipating the ripples that will extend far beyond the immediate. Public admiration is a commodity as volatile as currency. Use it to veil intention, to project confidence, and to manipulate perception, but do not depend upon it. Reputation may shield or expose. Appearances may bolster or betray. Let the world see decisiveness. Let it witness generosity. Let it perceive strength, all while the true calculations remain invisible. Those who confuse spectacle for substance are prey to the patient and the calculating. Vulnerability is the price of attachment. Emotional indulgence, favoritism, or sentimentality blinds judgment and erodes the advantage that wealth provides. Detachment is not cruelty, it is clarity. To act decisively, One must view the ambitions, fears, and desires of others as tools, never as absolutes, never as moral dictates. Those who cannot maintain this perspective are ensnared by the very instruments of influence they possess. Anticipate betrayal, not as an event, but as a rhythm. Every ally, every subordinate, every competitor contains the potential to turn against you. Every opportunity contains the seed of misfortune. Wealth allows you to prepare, to hedge, to incentivize, and to strike before others can mobilize against you. Those who cannot perceive the inevitability of self-interest are bound to suffer its consequences. Power is silent. Wealth magnifies it without noise. Do not parade capability. Let it accumulate, compound, and manifest in moments of unavoidable consequence. The world bows not to spectacle, but to results. Action without foresight is chaos. Foresight without action is impotent. Wealth bridges these extremes. It is the instrument through which thought becomes reality, vision becomes command, and ambition becomes control. The most dangerous adversary is not the one who opposes openly, but the one who conceals intent beneath civility. Wealth is the instrument with which such shadows are illuminated. It allows you to probe, to test, to observe reactions without exposing your own vulnerabilities. Every gift, every loan, every investment is a probe, revealing ambition, revealing weakness, revealing the unseen alliances that may one day threaten. The prudent leader treats every advantage as a key, every encounter as reconnaissance, and every word spoken as a measure of intent. Influence is a fabric woven from fear, desire, and necessity. Wealth gives you thread and needle alike, yet skill is required to stitch without tearing. Those who act recklessly unravel the web they attempt to create. Those who act too timidly see it fray before it can entrap. Measure each gesture, calibrate each interaction, and allow the currents of human nature to flow where you direct. The river of ambition will always seek its own path. You must guide it without appearing to guide it. Understand, the world punishes sentimentality. Compassion untempered by calculation becomes liability. Mercy shown indiscriminately invites contempt. Use wealth to shape loyalty, to enforce obedience, and to cultivate dependency. Let others believe that their fortunes are secured by your goodwill, while the deeper truth remains you decide their fate, and the illusion of freedom is but another tool of governance. Risk is the shadow of opportunity. Wealth allows you to take it strategically, to manipulate it into leverage over others, but miscalculation is fatal. Every investment, every alliance, every act of patronage must be weighed against the probability of betrayal and the potential for gain. Hesitate, and rivals will act blindly, and fortune will turn against you. Mastery lies in the balance, the precise allocation of resource, influence, and timing to ensure that consequence favors you at every turn. Isolation is not weakness, it is the crucible of power. Those who depend upon counsel are subject to the ambitions, fears, and biases of others. Wealth grants independence, freedom to act without coercion, and the means to command loyalty without reliance on sentiment. To dominate, one must learn to operate alone, with the clarity that detachment provides and the patience that resources afford. Ambition is a flame it can warm or it can consume. Wealth is both fuel and containment, guiding the blaze toward productive ends while preventing it from consuming the hand that feeds it. Encourage ambition in others only insofar as it advances your designs. Incentivize without overexposing, empower without releasing control, and always retain the means to extinguish rebellion before it ignites. Every act of governance is a negotiation with human nature. Fear, desire, envy, pride, all are forces to be anticipated, manipulated, and when necessary, countered with precision. Wealth magnifies your capacity to do so. It is the lever that moves minds, the key that unlocks obedience, the instrument that transforms subtle strategy into undeniable consequence. Those who do not grasp this are not leaders. They are supplicants in a game whose rules they cannot see. Perception is the battlefield upon which power is won or lost. Wealth allows you to construct illusions as skillfully as walls or armies. Let others see abundance, decisiveness, and influence, while the mechanics of control remain invisible. Let envy rise where ambition lingers, and let respect be commanded before it is demanded. Those who fail to manage perception are undone not by force, but by the silent erosion of credibility and fear. Opportunity is never neutral. It is a shape that must be molded. Wealth provides the material, but vision dictates form. To seize advantage is to act before others recognize its existence, to strike where preparedness meets vulnerability. Hesitation allows rivals to consolidate. Indiscretion exposes the hand behind the design. A leader must cultivate foresight, for every misstep reverberates far beyond its origin, and the wise bend circumstance to their will before chance dares intervene. Dependency is the invisible chain that binds the ambitious. Wealth enables you to create it. Subtly, loans that are never forgotten, favors that accrue silently, obligations that tie others to your purpose. Let gratitude appear as loyalty. Let reliance seem voluntary. In this architecture, betrayal becomes difficult, rebellion costly, and influence absolute. Those who underestimate the binding power of resources are soon ensnared by those who understand it. Do not mistake morality for strategy. Virtue is a tool, as vice is a tool. Both are weapons when wielded with clarity. The world does not reward ethical consistency, it rewards effectiveness. Wealth is the amplifier of intent. It allows action to be decisive, subtle, or concealed. Those who cling to principle at the expense of expedience are swept aside by the currents of ambition, while those who master expedience shape the currents themselves. Every alliance carries risk. Every promise is a negotiation. Wealth allows you to enforce, cajole, and manipulate without overt confrontation. Let others believe they act freely, even as your designs steer the outcome. Observe weakness, exploit opportunity, and prepare contingencies for every contingency. To lead is to anticipate the inevitable betrayals and to convert them into advantage before they are recognized. Time, like fortune, is pliant in the hands of the prepared. Wealth provides patience the capacity to wait for the alignment of circumstance and opportunity. Rushing invites error. Delay without strategy invites irrelevance. Every move must serve the overarching design, every act measured against consequence. Those who cannot master timing will see resources squandered, ambition thwarted, and influence eroded. The world is an arena of ambition, and wealth is the instrument that allows you to navigate its currents unseen. Knowledge, patience, and strategic deployment transform raw resources into power that is both invisible and absolute. Those who fail to understand this are subject to forces they cannot command, instruments in the schemes of those who do. To survive, to dominate, to endure, one must wield wealth as a blade, a lever, and a shield, all at once silently, decisively, inexorably. Power is never granted. It is seized, maintained, and expanded by those who understand its hidden mechanics. Wealth is the instrument through which ambition is translated into control. It allows the subtle arrangement of circumstances so that others act according to your design without realizing they serve you. Those who neglect this subtlety are governed by the whims of stronger hands, their fate determined by forces they cannot perceive. Fear and desire are the twin engines of compliance. Wealth enables you to stoke them in precise measure, reward selectively, punish quietly, and allow uncertainty to persist in the minds of those whose loyalty is necessary yet conditional. Do not underestimate the silent influence of anticipation, the invisible pressure of dependence, or the coercion embedded in opportunity withheld. Those who act openly invite resistance. Those who act strategically make resistance impossible before it is conceived. Influence is more than command. It is orchestration. Wealth allows you to manipulate circumstance, to guide the ambitions of others, to create dependencies that appear voluntary, but are in truth meticulously structured. Every loan, every gift, every contract becomes a vector through which your power extends, unseen and unstoppable. The naive imagine influence arises from speech or rhetoric. The wise know it is constructed from leverage, secrecy, and foresight. The threat of betrayal is constant. Preparedness is absolute. Never assume loyalty beyond what circumstance demands. Wealth allows you to anticipate the inevitable, to convert disloyalty into advantage, and to eliminate threats before they manifest. Let rivals believe themselves secure. Let allies perceive generosity. The unseen calculus is yours alone. Those who cannot see the inevitability of self-interest are consumed by it. Control is exercised through the mastery of expectation. Wealth allows you to create patterns, incentives, and dependencies that guide behavior without direct intervention. Let others act freely within boundaries you define. Let ambition flourish in directions you approve. Let fear of loss constrain action more than fear of reprisal. The architect of circumstance is never apparent. The world bows to outcomes, not to those who shape them in silence. Patience is the silent weapon of the powerful. Wealth grants the freedom to wait, to observe, to prepare. The impulsive are destroyed by their own haste. The timid are ignored and displaced. Those who act with foresight strike with inevitability. Resources allow timing to be leveraged, giving clarity to decisions that determine survival, domination, and legacy. Every move must be deliberate, every expenditure a strategic calculation. Appearances govern perception. Perception governs obedience. Wealth provides the means to construct reality itself. Let others witness strength, prudence, and generosity, while the architecture of control remains hidden. Let rivals misjudge your intentions. Let allies miscalculate their independence. Influence is amplified when invisible, and power becomes absolute when unquestioned. Every opportunity contains both advantage and peril. The wise distinguish between them before action is taken. Wealth allows you to manipulate circumstances so that risk becomes manageable and chance bends to your design. Those who rely on luck are puppets. Those who wield resources as instruments of foresight are architects. Every investment, every alliance, every gesture must be measured not by intention, but by the consequences it produces and the control it secures. Observation is the foundation of strategy. Watch without revealing, learn without acknowledging, and act without exposing. Wealth provides the means to extend perception. Spies, informants, networks of obligation, and subtle influence that move unseen across the theater of ambition. The ignorant see only what is visible. The prudent perceive what is hidden. To master power, one must understand not only the forces that are apparent, but the currents that flow beneath the surface. Isolation sharpens judgment. A leader who relies upon counsel is bound by the limitations, ambitions, and fears of others. Wealth affords independence, freedom to act decisively, and the capacity to shape outcomes without constraint. Those who cannot stand alone are manipulated by those who can. Those who cannot wield resources wisely are directed by the designs of others. To survive, to dominate, one must cultivate solitude as a tool of clarity and calculation. Human nature is immutable. Desire, envy, and fear are constants. Wealth allows you to exploit these constants, transforming them into instruments of compliance and vectors of influence. Reward when it aligns with your purpose. Punish when necessary, always in proportion and with discretion. To act without calculation is to invite ruin. To act without visibility is to forfeit control. The skilled convert human weakness into the scaffolding of power. Control requires foresight. Every alliance, every promise, every transaction carries a potential for betrayal. Wealth enables anticipation, the creation of contingencies, the structuring of incentives, the subtle shaping of behavior. Those who cannot perceive the inevitability of self-interest are caught unprepared. Those who understand it manipulate it to advantage, striking before threats can manifest. Silence is a weapon. Let actions speak where words fail. Let restraint command where force would alarm. Wealth magnifies discretion. It allows subtle influence without exposure, leverage without notice, and control without overt confrontation. Those who parade their strength invite resistance. Those who operate unseen bend circumstance to their will with inevitability. The world measures power by consequence, not intention. Wealth is the mechanism through which consequence is delivered, precise, unavoidable, and absolute. Those who cannot wield it with strategy are instruments in the schemes of those who can. Those who understand it become architects of reality itself, invisible yet dominant, patient yet inexorable. Influence is never granted. It is cultivated through observation, calculation, and decisive application of resources. Wealth provides the capacity to shape circumstance, to bend others' ambitions to your own, and to transform hesitation into compliance. Do not mistake generosity for benevolence. It is a tool to be deployed, measured, and withdrawn when it no longer serves the design. Those who act without such calculation are governed by the ambitions and whims of others, their movements anticipated and manipulated before they realize they are constrained. The manipulation of perception is as crucial as the control of resources. Let others perceive abundance, stability, and confidence, even when calculations demand restraint, concealment, or redirection. Appearances shape expectation. Expectation governs action. A rival may underestimate you. An ally may overestimate their independence, and in both cases, wealth magnifies your ability to exploit the misjudgment. The invisible hand governs more surely than the one lifted openly in display. Every alliance is conditional. Every oath is temporary. Wealth allows you to structure obligations, to reward when loyalty serves, to withdraw when ambition threatens. Those who depend on sentiment or ideology are vulnerable. Those who understand self-interest wield power effortlessly. Anticipate the fracture lines in human desire. Position your resources to exploit them before they manifest. The prudent leader never reacts. He orchestrates. Timing governs the effectiveness of all action. Wealth allows patience, the ability to wait until rivals expose weakness, until opportunity aligns with preparation, until consequence can be delivered with certainty. Impatience breeds error. Hesitation breeds opportunity for adversaries. A calculated interval between observation and action amplifies impact, and those who cannot master it are swept aside. Dependency is the instrument of control. Wealth creates reliance, structures opportunity, and generates obligations invisible to those ensnared. Let others believe their gains are independent of your intervention. Let them act as if free, while every movement aligns with your design. The powerful manipulate not through force alone, but through invisible influence, crafting circumstances so that resistance becomes impractical and obedience profitable. Vigilance is indispensable. Envy, ambition, and fear operate in every human relationship. Wealth magnifies opportunity, but also risk. Observe continuously, measure meticulously, and prepare contingencies for every contingency. Anticipate betrayal as an inevitable rhythm of interaction, converted into advantage before it manifests. Those who cannot see inevitability are governed by it. To govern is to act decisively without exposure. Wealth allows action to be both effective and invisible. Let others perceive generosity, stability, and prudence, while the machinery of influence remains concealed. Power unperceived is power absolute. Influence invisible is dominance unchallenged. The one who understands this transforms resources into control, foresight into inevitability, and ambition into an instrument of survival. Every structure of power rests upon the predictable impulses of men. Wealth is the instrument by which those impulses are measured, guided, and exploited. Desire can be directed, fear can be amplified, envy can be channeled. The prudent leader does not rely on abstract principles nor on hope, but on the careful calibration of these forces. Resources allow you to transform inclination into action, intention into consequence, and weakness into advantage. The most perilous threat is the unseen ambition of others. Every subordinate, every ally, every competitor contains the seed of betrayal. Wealth allows you to create contingencies, to construct dependencies, and to reward compliance while preempting defection. Observe subtly, act decisively, and always retain the freedom to strike without warning. Those who fail to anticipate ambition are undone not by strength, but by cunning. Control is exercised through limitation as much as through provision. Wealth permits selective empowerment, enabling those whose desires serve your design, constraining those whose ambitions threaten it. Let independence appear genuine, let obedience seem voluntary, and let gratitude mask calculation. Those who cannot structure influence with discretion are governed by the desires of others, their intentions manipulated before they even recognize the hand that guides them. Timing and patience are as essential as resources themselves. Every opportunity must be weighed against the landscape of consequence, every engagement against the probability of advantage. Wealth grants the ability to wait, to observe, and to act when conditions are aligned perfectly. Impulsive action favors the rash, hesitation favors the prepared. The master moves only when certainty exceeds risk, and in that moment, control becomes unassailable. Appearances govern perception, and perception governs compliance. Let others witness confidence, decisiveness, and abundance, while the mechanics of strategy remain concealed. Reputation is a tool, manipulated like gold or armies. Those who fail to manage it are undone by misjudgment. The wise engineer perception so that it becomes an invisible architecture of power, guiding behavior without coercion, shaping outcomes without exposure. Dependency and obligation are invisible chains. Wealth allows you to create networks of advantage in which others act according to your design while believing themselves free. Incentivize subtly, reward strategically, withdraw selectively. The careful orchestration of desire, fear, and ambition produces compliance without open confrontation, turning potential resistance into tacit cooperation. Every act must serve long-term dominance. Short-term gain without strategic alignment invites disaster. Wealth magnifies consequence. It allows subtlety in execution, discretion in deployment, and inevitability in result. Those who fail to wield it strategically are swept aside. Those who master it dictate the movements of fortune itself. Every advantage carries its shadow. Every gain conceals potential peril. Wealth allows you to navigate these dualities, to transform risk into leverage and uncertainty into inevitability. Those who act without foresight are swept aside by tides they cannot perceive. To command is to anticipate the hidden currents of ambition and to align resources so that every possibility serves your design. Silence is as potent as action. Let rivals speak. Let allies reveal themselves through desire and fear, while your own hand remains unseen. Wealth grants the capacity to act indirectly to influence without exposure, to maneuver without notice, and to strike with precision when hesitation has paralyzed others. Those who reveal strategy prematurely invite opposition. Those who conceal it become architects of outcomes beyond challenge. Dependency is cultivated through subtlety, not coercion. Wealth enables the creation of obligations that appear voluntary, loyalty that feels earned, and reliance that seems natural. Let gratitude bind, let opportunity shape behavior, and let fear of loss enforce compliance. The invisible scaffolding of influence is stronger than chains, the unseen lever more effective than the sword. The inevitability of betrayal must never be underestimated. Every individual contains self-interest. Every alliance carries potential fracture. Wealth allows preemption. It creates incentives, constructs consequences, and shapes behavior before ambition can manifest as threat. Anticipate defection, reward compliance, and strike decisively when necessity demands. Those who ignore the rhythms of self-interest invite ruin. Action without calculation is chaos. Calculation without action is impotence. Wealth bridges the two, providing both the means and the flexibility to act decisively. Deploy it strategically, observe relentlessly, and ensure that every transaction, every investment, every engagement amplifies influence while minimizing exposure. Those who fail in either dimension are instruments of others' design. Control is exercised through invisibility. Let others perceive abundance, decisiveness, and stability, while the true mechanisms of command remain hidden. Reputation, perception, and dependency are instruments of power to be orchestrated with precision. The one who can move events without exposure achieves dominance without contest. The one who cannot is manipulated by circumstance and ambition alike. Patience is the armor of the prudent. Wealth grants the ability to wait, to observe, to prepare, and to act when conditions are aligned perfectly. The impulsive destroy themselves. The cautious falter. The strategic strike with inevitability. Resources magnify patience, foresight, and control, transforming opportunity into power and action into consequence. Every human motive can be leveraged. Fear, desire, envy, pride, all may be measured, manipulated, and aligned with purpose. Wealth is the instrument through which such leverage becomes tangible, actionable, and inescapable. Those who fail to convert human nature into advantage are subjugated by it. Those who master it become architects of their own inevitability. Every structure of influence must be maintained through constant vigilance. Wealth is the scaffold upon which authority is built, yet it requires careful tending. Alliances shift like sand. Ambition gnaws at loyalty. Fortune whispers promises that often conceal peril. The prudent leader does not assume stability, he engineers it, anticipating fractures before they appear, shaping circumstances so that dependence, fear, and desire bind others to his will. Leverage is not merely possession, it is deployment. Resources must move as silently and precisely as armies in formation. Every loan, every favor, every investment becomes a vector through which control is exercised. Let others believe they act freely, while their decisions unfold along paths you have subtly constructed. The visible gesture is only the surface. The hidden calculus determines consequence. Those who cannot manipulate leverage are subject to it, their fate dictated by those who can. Observation is a weapon sharper than steel. Study desire, monitor fear, measure envy. Every human motive is a map, every subtle action a signal. Wealth provides the means to extend observation, to probe intentions without revealing your own, and to act when vulnerability is exposed. The unobservant are trapped by circumstance. The careful convert information into inevitability. Detachment is the crucible of clarity. Emotional indulgence clouds judgment, sentimentality blinds foresight. Wealth magnifies every weakness. Those who indulge lose control. Those who hesitate invite exploitation. The master maintains equilibrium, viewing ambition, loyalty, and fear as instruments to be played, never absolutes to be honored. Decision without clarity is catastrophe. Action without detachment is surrender. Anticipate the inevitability of change. Alliances will fracture, loyalty will waver, fortune will shift. Wealth allows preparation, the creation of contingencies, the strategic redistribution of influence, the careful management of risk. Those who ignore the constancy of human ambition are governed by it. Those who plan for it bend it to advantage. Every betrayal becomes an opportunity, every disruption a vector for further consolidation. Control is exercised through invisibility as much as presence. Let others perceive stability, competence, and abundance, while the architecture of command remains hidden. Reputation is a pliable instrument. Shape it to conceal weakness, amplify strength, and guide expectation. Those who fail to manage perception are undermined by it. Those who master it manipulate the environment without direct confrontation. Patience is amplified by resources. The wise leader waits for the alignment of circumstance, allowing rivals to expose weakness, letting opportunity mature until action delivers inevitable consequence. Impulsive action destroys. Hesitation breeds irrelevance. Wealth grants the freedom to act at the moment when inevitability favors you. converting calculation into dominance. Every human flaw can be weaponized. Greed, ambition, fear, and pride are constants. Wealth allows them to be converted into instruments of influence. Encourage desire when it serves. Redirect ambition when it threatens. Amplify fear when it enforces compliance. Those who cannot harness human nature are its victims. Those who can, bend it to serve the architecture of their power. Fortune favors preparation, not hope. Those who rely on chance are powerless. Those who wield wealth strategically shape circumstance before opportunity presents itself. Every coin, every asset, every favor is a tool to manipulate timing, align desire, and anticipate ambition. Resources grant the ability to act with inevitability, to strike when advantage is absolute, and to impose consequence before resistance can form. The strongest chains are invisible. Dependence created through wealth binds more securely than coercion or threat. Let allies believe their choices are free, their gains their own, while every action serves your design. Let rivals perceive opportunity, while it is structured to funnel them into compliance. Subtlety is the instrument, leverage is the mechanism, and the world bows to the consequences rather than the hand that delivers them. Information is power multiplied. Wealth allows you to observe, probe, and measure the ambitions and fears of all who surround you. Every conversation, every transaction, every signal becomes data, every gesture a revelation. The prudent leader acts upon insight. The foolish are driven by rumor. Knowledge, coupled with the means to act decisively, converts observation into domination. Betrayal is constant, inevitable, and necessary to anticipate. Every individual contains self-interest. Every alliance carries a fracture line. Wealth allows you to preempt, to reward compliance, and to convert potential treachery into advantage. The master does not wait to be surprised. He engineers inevitability, allowing even opposition to advance the architecture of his power. Timing governs consequence. Resources grant the patience to wait for opportunity, the clarity to recognize vulnerability, and the freedom to act when advantage is maximal. Impulsive action favors chaos. Hesitation invites others to act first. A well-timed deployment transforms potential into certainty, turning calculation into dominance. Perception is the arena in which obedience is won. Let others witness decisiveness, abundance, and authority, while the structures of influence remain concealed. Reputation is pliable. Let it shield weakness, amplify strength, and guide expectation. The unobservant obey what they see. The prudent manipulate the unseen. Control is a network of incentives, obligations, and constraints. Wealth allows the creation of dependency, the shaping of ambition, and the direction of desire without direct force. Let loyalty appear voluntary. Let fear be subtle. Let opportunity guide action. Those who cannot orchestrate such networks are instruments of circumstance. Those who can command inevitability itself. Patience and calculation convert human weakness into leverage. Fear, envy, pride, and greed can be channeled, incentivized, and restrained. Wealth is the lever that converts perception into consequence, observation into action, and opportunity into dominance. Those who fail to master this are ruled by forces they cannot perceive. Those who do become architects of their own fate. Power is measured not by possession, but by the capacity to convert possession into effect. Wealth is the tool through which influence becomes tangible, through which intention becomes consequence. Every resource must be deployed with foresight, every investment aligned with a broader architecture of control. Those who act without alignment are swept aside by currents they cannot perceive. Those who act strategically bend currents to their will. The human mind is predictable, yet dangerous. Desire, envy, fear, and pride govern action, often unnoticed by the individual. Wealth allows you to shape these forces, to direct behavior without overt compulsion. Let ambition flourish where it benefits you, constrain it where it threatens. Let fear enforce compliance. Let desire reward loyalty. Those who fail to manipulate such forces are manipulated by them, their freedom illusory, their power imagined. Betrayal is neither anomaly nor accident. It is a constant variable in every alliance. Prepare for it, anticipate it, and convert it into advantage. Wealth allows preemption, the creation of contingencies, and the selective rewarding of loyalty. Strike decisively when necessary, and let the consequences of inaction serve as lesson for the wary. The prudent leader acts before risk crystallizes, while the foolish are consumed by it. Timing transforms action into inevitability. Impulse favors chaos, hesitation favors rivals, calculation yields dominance. Resources grant patience, foresight, and the flexibility to wait until conditions align perfectly. To strike too soon is to squander advantage. To wait too long is to forfeit it. A master of wealth deploys it, not merely as currency, but as a lever of inevitability, shaping circumstance until resistance is impossible. Dependency is the quiet engine of control. Wealth allows you to create obligations, foster reliance, and guide behavior under the illusion of freedom. Let others believe their choices are their own. Every movement should serve your design without revealing it. Subtlety ensures that influence is perpetual, leverage inexhaustible, and authority unchallenged. Observation is the instrument of foresight. Watch without revealing, measure without disclosure, act with precision. Every signal, every hesitation, every subtle expression is data, every interaction an opportunity. Wealth amplifies observation, providing reach and discretion, allowing the leader to act decisively while remaining unobserved. Those who cannot perceive subtlety are dominated by those who can. Control is the orchestration of human nature. Fear, desire, envy, pride, all are constants. Wealth converts them into instruments. Reward when it advances purpose. Punish when it preserves advantage. Allow dependence to flourish where it ensures compliance. Those who fail to harness human nature are its victims. Those who master it bend it to the architecture of their will. Ambition is the force that drives men, yet it is neither predictable nor uniform. Wealth allows you to channel it, to redirect its momentum, and to harness it for your design. Let rivals expend energy pursuing illusions you have constructed. Let allies believe their progress is independent while it follows your blueprint. Every desire becomes a tool, every impulse a vector, every act of self-interest an instrument of consequence. Those who cannot manipulate ambition are consumed by it. Fortune is pliant to those who control resources. Wealth grants the ability to engineer circumstances so that chance bends to calculation. No leader survives by hope alone. The wise manipulate opportunity, create conditions, and strike with inevitability. Delay, misjudgment, or overconfidence is fatal. Preparation and precise execution secure dominion. Every coin spent, every alliance formed, every favor granted must serve the architecture of enduring influence. Isolation sharpens jugement. Dependence upon counsel exposes the leader to the ambitions, fears, and prejudices of others. Wealth grants autonomy, freedom to act decisively, freedom to anticipate, freedom to strike before opposition consolidates. The prepared act alone, unseen and unchallenged, while those who cannot operate independently are manipulated by circumstance and by the designs of others. Perception governs obedience. Let others witness abundance, decisiveness, and strength, while the scaffolding of control remains hidden. Reputation is a pliable weapon. Shape it to conceal weakness, amplify authority, and guide expectation. Influence is amplified when invisible. Dominance becomes unassailable when unquestioned. Those who fail to manage perception are undermined by it, their authority eroded before confrontation arises. Every act must anticipate human weakness. Greed, envy, pride, and fear are constants. Wealth converts them into instruments of governance. Encourage desire when it serves. Redirect ambition when it threatens. Amplify fear when compliance is required. Strategic deployment of resources transforms human nature into the architecture of power. and the leader who masters it ensures inevitability in every interaction. Patience and timing are weapons. Wealth provides the ability to wait, to observe, and to act when conditions align perfectly. Impulsiveness destroys. Hesitation invites rivals to seize advantage. Strategic patience ensures that action, when taken, delivers maximum consequence with minimal resistance. Resources magnify the effect of timing, converting foresight into unassailable influence. Betrayal is inevitable. Anticipation is survival. Wealth allows you to preempt treachery, to convert disloyalty into advantage, and to neutralize threats before they crystallize. Allies will falter, rivals will strike, fortune will shift, but those who wield resources strategically control the consequences. Every fracture in human loyalty becomes a lever, every betrayal an opportunity to consolidate power. Control is a matter of anticipation, not reaction. Wealth allows you to act before events unfold, to shape circumstance so that every movement of others serves your design. Let rivals expend effort in futile resistance. Let allies believe their loyalty is voluntary, while it is precisely structured. Every resource becomes a lever, every act of generosity or restraint a vector of influence. Those who cannot anticipate are governed by those who do. Dependence is cultivated subtly. Wealth allows you to create obligations invisible to the recipient, loyalty reinforced without coercion, and compliance enforced without exposure. Let opportunity appear unshaped. Let reward seem spontaneous. Let restraint appear generosity. The chains of influence forged through discretion are stronger than those built with force. The prudent leader understands that invisible control is absolute control. Observation converts wealth into power. Every hesitation, every desire, every subtle indication of ambition or fear provides intelligence that can be leveraged. Resources extend reach and discretion, allowing the leader to measure intention, assess threat, and act decisively. Knowledge without means is impotent. Means without knowledge is wasted. Wealth unites the two, transforming foresight into action, and action into dominance. Timing magnifies effect. Resources allow patience, flexibility, and strategic deployment. Act too soon, and advantage is squandered. Act too late, and opportunity vanishes. The wise strike when inevitability favors them, when consequence aligns with preparation, when rivals are exposed but unaware. Wealth provides the freedom to wait for such moments and the leverage to act with precision. Human weakness is the constant substrate of influence. Fear, pride, greed, and ambition can all be shaped into instruments of control. Wealth is the mechanism through which these forces are aligned with purpose. Encourage desire where it serves, constrain ambition where it threatens, and allow fear to enforce compliance. Those who fail to exploit human nature are dominated by it. Those who do shape it into the architecture of power. Fortune favors neither virtue nor hope, but strategy. Wealth allows the creation of circumstances in which chance is irrelevant, opportunity engineered, and resistance impossible. Those who fail to marshal resources and anticipate consequence are swept aside by currents they cannot perceive. Those who master them dictate the course of events. Every move becomes inevitable, every act consequential, every outcome aligned with design. The culmination of power is neither spectacle nor proclamation, it is inevitability. Wealth, observation, patience, and strategy converge to create a force that cannot be opposed, a current that sweeps all who fail to perceive it. Those who understand this act with calm decisiveness, shaping circumstance, guiding ambition, and converting human weakness into instruments of influence. The world bows not to virtue, nor to morality, nor to chance. It bends only to consequence, and consequence belongs to those who wield the means to enforce it. Every alliance, every gesture, every resource has been measured, deployed, and aligned. Loyalty exists where dependence is secured. Fear is present but tempered. Desire is shaped to purpose. Betrayal has been anticipated, neutralized, or converted into advantage. Rivals have acted, unaware that their movements were already accounted for, already incorporated into a design they cannot see. The architecture of dominance is complete, not by the hands of force alone, but by the careful orchestration of incentive, perception, and consequence. The prudent leader understands that power is exercised as much through absence as presence. Influence must appear natural, outcomes inevitable, and obedience voluntary. Wealth amplifies this subtlety, converting silent leverage into decisive effect. Every act has been purposeful, every delay calculated, every expenditure of resources measured for maximum impact. The currents of ambition, fear, envy, and desire have been guided invisibly so that the world moves according to the designs of the one who commands it. Patience has borne fruit, foresight has been justified. What once required effort and vigilance now exists as structure, a network of consequence in which every actor, ally, and rival is aligned or constrained. Resistance is impractical, opposition predictable, and dominance unassailable. The hand that wields wealth with clarity shapes reality itself, converting calculation into inevitability, foresight into control, and ambition into a mechanism of obedience. This is the anatomy of power. Relentless, silent, inevitable. Wealth is not mere currency, it is the instrument of survival, influence, and dominance. To ignore it is to surrender. To misunderstand it is to perish. To master it is to become the architect of circumstance, the unseen force directing ambition, and the ultimate arbiter of consequence. Those who command it move unchallenged. Those who do not are crushed by the precision of its application. Learn this truth. Power favors neither morality nor hope, but mastery. Wealth is a weapon wielded with strategy, discretion, and inevitability, or be consumed by those who do. The world bends only to the prepared, the calculating, the patient, and the relentless. Survival is not given, it is engineered. Influence is not requested, it is seized. And in this theater of consequence, only those who understand the calculus of wealth endure. All others are swept aside, forgotten, and undone.